Well, hello and welcome to all of our viewers here today. I'm Fiona Langsharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and one of the MCs here at Gold Learning. Well, today we are talking all about Gold Midwifery 2022. Welcome, everyone. It is a new year and we've got some amazing conferences coming up for you. As you can see, we have a guest speaker here today. I'm so excited. It's been so much fun to work with Fiona Hallinan so far. And thank you so much for joining us today, Fiona. It's great to have a person next to me with the same name. It's just such a beautiful name, and I don't hear it very often. So it's wonderful that we share that in common. Of course, some of the other things that we get to share is that we'll be working together at our upcoming Gold Midwifery Conference. So if you're interested in knowing more about Fiona and all of our speakers coming up, you can go to our website at goldmidwifery.com. There you'll be able to find out all the information about the conference, especially the details on the timing. We actually start, our kickoff date is February 1st, 2022. So that is going to be our opening keynote. But all of you should know that all of our presentations are recorded, but we have the pleasure of having Fiona at our event this year live. So I'm excited because it's been so much fun to work with you leading up to this event. So welcome, Fiona. It's so good to have you here. Please introduce yourself. Tell us where you are in the world and what you do there.
Hey, Fiona. Fiona L and Fiona H. Hanging together.
That's right.
We've already had a yarn about the origins of our name and our family backgrounds.
Yeah.
I'm in Melbourne, Australia, and I've lived here since I was 18, so we're on to 40 years now. And I come from a country area originally, and I live here with my husband. We became empty nesters last year or year before COVID.
COVID times.
COVID times. 2 kids moved out. They couldn't stand us anymore. Yeah. I've got 2 older kids as well, 2 stepchildren, and I've got 2 little grandbabies.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice little family. That's awesome.
2 dogs too.
Busy life, right? Lots of things, I think for a lot of folks around the world, of course, have changed over the last 2 years. And it's hard because the last 2 years have in some respects have been so slow, and yet it's gone so quickly. So, we're all adapting as families too. So Fiona, tell me a little bit about work life for you in Melbourne there. What are you currently doing?
Well, currently I'm trying not to use the word busy. I'm trying to use the word full, but I feel like I'm full to pussy's bow right now with all I've got on, and there's a lot happening. So mostly my work life, it's changed very interestingly over the last year to 2 years, where I've always been doing teaching workshops and the like, and one-on-one sessions, but I was also working as a maternal child health nurse, which I enjoyed. But the amount of teaching increased, so I dropped that back. And just I don't know why with COVID, I'm not sure, but the one-on-one sessions I now run at home with women, offering pregnancy body work, prep work, but mostly internal pelvic release work, has risen exponentially. I can't keep up. So yeah, I finally bit the bullet and put in place a mentoring program for that, and that starts in February in Melbourne. Yeah.
Right. So you're busy.
So yeah. It's full, Fiona. It's very full.
That's
busy
very
gets
full.
my heart racing too.
Okay. It's very full.
It's full. It's great. So a lot of
That's
pelvic
awesome.
work.
A lot of pelvic work. So, I mean, let's just let everybody in on what you're actually going to be speaking about when you come to us here at Gold Midwifery. So the title of your presentation, Soft Tissues of the Pelvis and Their Impact on Birth. I feel like you might have a passion in this area. Should we say that?
Yeah, I'm a pelvic geek from way back.
Yeah.
It's just grown over the 30-odd years. It's a bit of a dry old topic, really, but it's not really, because the tissues are juicy. So there's lots to it all. There's so much to it all, and so much sadly, as midwives that have been inadvertently, some might say otherwise, but I'm going to choose to say inadvertently omitted from our education.
Okay.
And that then has led to different misconceptions or, a lack of understanding why we do what we do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's very important to go back and understand a few core basics, because to me, when I get the core basics, I get motivated. I think it stimulates motivation in practitioners and in women.
Yeah. So I think this is a poignant moment that we can just stop and say, okay, so anyone that's listening right now, tell us what you think. Do you think there is a learning gap? Did you even know about it? It doesn't, I mean, you're very funny, not a dry subject, but it's, the muscles are juicy. Love it. but maybe that's the reason, a lot of us, in the field have not had a lot of education in this area. And this presentation is going to address some of those things, right?
Yeah. I mean, even get this, in preparing for this and just looking for different pictures and this, that, and the other, you go over all texts and that.
Yeah.
And it just struck me, 32 years down the line, my textbook, I trained at a major tertiary Melbourne hospital. There's 3 of them in maternity services. I trained at one of them, old school apprenticeship model, didn't go to uni to do it, didn't write an essay to get my midwifery qualification. I was apprentice, hands on deck. But the textbook, the primary textbook we learned from, was a book called Obstetrics and the Newborn.
Right.
Not even midwifery and the newborn, obstetrics and newborn. And that I should have known 32 years ago that I was getting a watered down version of something.
Right.
And,
wow.
And I don't think anyone meant ill of it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that we have to get too caught up in power play stuff, but we just have to go, right, there were omissions, and
that's right.
It's left gaps in our understanding. And then that then, when we have that deeper understanding, when we start to know that which we didn't know, we can start to do something about it.
Absolutely. And I think this comes up irregardless. I know it comes up in women's health all the time. The research is not there, but we're just starting to say that out loud. We're starting to say, listen, the research actually isn't there. It's not what we thought it was. The things that we've been doing for sometimes 50, 60 years are not accurate. Okay. So there needs to be a big shift, and we all know it. The burnout rate in the field of birth is immense for multiple reasons. But some of them is lack of support, understanding, knowledge, and I'm sure education. And we need to get to the sort of the bottom of it. And I love it that you're so passionate in this area.
Even all the anatomy stuff, like what they knew 60 years ago, it's going out the window with what they're finding now in MRI studies.
Yeah.
It's opening up a whole new world. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it is fantastic. And I think that having, that's really how midwifery was birthed here at Gold, was by demand. We didn't just say, oh, let's just, put this together. It was demand. And it was actually from our, Australian, New Zealand nurses and midwives that felt like they needed more and wanted more. So, here we are all these years later, inviting amazing speakers like yourself, because there still is a demand, and we're excited that you see the demand in education as well. That's just going to be wonderful. I do have another question for you before I let you go, because I just always find this so interesting. Why did you get into midwifery? What was the drive for you? Is this all happened by accident? What's going on, Fiona? Come on, tell me.
Pure accident. Pure accident. I got into nursing first of all because I was doing a science degree, and I was positively miserable as an 18, 19-year-old. All I wanted to do was leave home and get into the big wide world. Miserable. Got a boyfriend, beautiful man, much older than me. He said, F. Hallinan, he used to call me that, F. Hallinan, you'd make a good nurse. I went, really? Are you kidding? And I did nursing, and I felt like I hit home. Then nursing, I went after I finished nursing, and I loved it. I went to work in a cancer hospital, and they put me on what was then called the breast ward. And I loved it, but I went home crying every night because there were women dying, young women dying around me or very sick. And after 6 months of having a cry every night, but also weirdly, reading the birth notifications in the newspaper as I was having my cup of tea at morning tea every day. I went to the senior nurse and she said, "Oh, my dear." I said, "I have to leave." "Oh, my dear," she says, "you need to go and do something that's 99% happy, 1% sad, instead of 99% sad, 1% happy."
Oh.
And in my naivety, as a 28-year-old, I went, "What's that?" And she said, "It's midwifery, my dear. You need to go and become a midwife." I go, "Really? I don't want to do midwifery." And there you go. She said, "Yes, go and apply to do midwifery." And I did. And it was the same feeling as that first day of nursing. I went, "I'm home."
I'm home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure a lot of folks out there listening to your story, and thank you for sharing it, can relate. For those who work in the field of midwifery or the birth world, very passionate at making sure that our families get the best of the best, that they are protected, that they are knowledgeable, and they have an understanding and a passion that, drives many of us. So, and I can see that still rings true for you today, Fiona. It's just wonderful. It's wonderful. Thank you for being here today. I honestly can't wait to have your presentation because you're so much fun to work with and you have made my time enjoyable. That's what makes you a great educator, Fiona, I have to say. And so for all of you listening in right now, don't forget to come and check out the presentations on our Gold Midwifery website at goldmidwifery.com. You'll be able to find Fiona, what day she's going to be on. It's going to be slightly different, of course, time for those that live around the world. So check it out. You can log in right now and join us for our opening keynote on February 1st. That is going to be a free and open access presentation. I know that you're going to enjoy that as well. So thank you once again to Fiona for joining us here today. And to all of you listening in, thank you for being here. And we'll look forward to seeing you all soon. Bye-bye for now, everyone.